So to get started today, I'm going to play you a couple of current events and some of the reactions that I just have to react to. First and foremost, all right, first and foremost, as and I'll just tell you, I'll just be right out and come out and say it. The thing for me that made me vote for Trump, endorse Trump, and want Trump to be in office as opposed to his competitor. And I'm going to do my best not to mention her name as much because her 15 minutes of fame is over with. It's over. As I was telling you today in the Moose Swifty Thought, if you listen to it, her 15 minutes of her and Tim Walz, their 15 minutes of fame is over with. They're done with. They're going to go do whatever it is they're going to do. Not too many people are going to care about those two in the next 2 or 3 months. Right now, the focus is on who's the current president and the current vice president, and how can we work together as a country, do our part to figure out how the next 4 years is going to be better than the previous 4 years, and then so on and so forth. That's the only focus that we should be having at this point. We should be looking back and say, oh, this happened and that happened and I'm so sad. Fuck that. All right. It's important. It's important that we keep moving forward. This is why I love football so much, because you lose a game, you're on to the next week. That's the way it should be. All right, that's the way it should be. But anyway, there's some reactions that I have to make sure I address and I react to because of how, and it gives you an example of what I mean when I say it's the national media that creates this division among society. First one I'm going to play you, it's when, someone that I admire, I'll admit it. I definitely admire Stephen A. Smith. As much as I disagree with a lot of his football takes, I think he has opened a ton of doors for young men like myself, young men of color like myself, who have a voice, who want to be articulate, who want to, be on camera, weren't good enough to play at the professional level, but still want to be involved in sports and all that. So for the most part, when you consider everything, I do like Stephen A. Smith. But the show that he recently went on, The View, I'm telling you, I can't watch that shit. I mean, I can maybe catch a couple minutes of it here and there when I see somebody on that I admire. So I didn't watch the full segment of what Stephen A. Smith's his segment. He made an appearance on The View to talk about the election results and all that. But I did catch this clip, and this clip I want to play you. I'm going to play you this clip, and it shows an example of what I mean when I say it's actually the national media and the people that have massive platforms. It's their fault that we see the division that we see. So here's the clip.
People are going to gravitate to that, and that they're operating against those they believe are extreme on the left. Like, for example, when you talk about the LGBTQ community, I'm a fiscal conservative and I'm a social liberal. Mm-hmm. I'm fiscal with my dollars. I ain't apologizing for not wanting to pay high taxes to anybody. I'm not apologizing for that, right? But outside of that, I'm pretty liberal. Live and let live, okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you had folks on the left that were introducing some things when we got in the whole transgender issue, and they were talking about bathrooms, or they were talking about males transitioning to females and competing against girls in sports and stuff like that.
That's less than 1% of the population.
I understand that,
but you know what?
That's ridiculous.
Less than 1%. I mean, and the fact that people are clapping is what worries me. It's the fact that people clap to that. Okay, let's just, and if Sonny Holston ever gets a chance to listen to this, think about this. Less than 1% of the population is still a lot of people. There's still a lot of people that are born males and playing in female sports. Okay, so if we were to elect the previous candidate, the one who didn't win, all right, like I said, Kamala Harris, if we were to elect her or anybody on the left and in this feminine movement, where do you think that percentage is going to go, up or down? Especially when you're talking about something that should be 0%. It should be nobody. It should be nobody. Okay, that's the issue. The issue is not, we are, that it's less than 1% or it's a smaller percentage of people. The issue is that it's any percentage. And that is the problem. That's the problem. It's the mindset. It's the mindset of saying, hey, I'm going to just let certain things slide, even though certain people are affected, by the situation. I'm just going to remove it because the percentage is so small that I'm not going to even pay attention to it. That's what's ridiculous. And that's the problem. That's where the issues come in. In the way it's affecting young people is where the real issue is.